Embracing fewer, meaningful friendships in your 60s. Join me as I share with you how now moving into my mid-60s, I realized the need to not have so many friends. This is how I embraced the idea of having fewer friends and saw how it would change my life. So, let's talk about friendships. You know, those relationships that are supposed to bring us joy, support, and a sense of belonging. But have you ever stopped to think about how your friendships have changed over time? I know I have. As I entered my 6th decade, I realized my priorities had shifted, and the people we surround ourselves with can have a huge impact on our lives. I've realized that my friendships have evolved significantly over the past few years. Some have deepened, while others have, unfortunately, fizzled out. It's like we're constantly reassessing who's in our inner circle and who's just an acquaintance. And that's okay. It's a natural part of life, right? But what's interesting is that we often put so much pressure on ourselves to maintain all these relationships, even when they might not be serving us anymore. We feel obligated to keep in touch, to meet up, and to engage in small talk, even when we'd rather be doing something else. And that's when it hit me. Maybe I don't need as many friends as I thought. When you have a large social circle, it can be overwhelming. There are so many people to keep track of, so many events to attend, and so many conversations to have. And let's be real, sometimes it can feel like a chore. You start to feel like you're just going through the motions, pretending to be interested in someone's life when really, you couldn't care less. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you had a truly meaningful conversation with someone outside of your close-knit group? When did you last feel like you could really be yourself around someone without fear of judgment or rejection? For me, it's been a while. Maintaining a large social circle can be exhausting. You have to be on, all the time, putting on a smile, making small talk, and pretending to have a good time. And don't even get me started on social media. It's like we're constantly comparing our lives to others, trying to keep up with the latest trends and events. I've found myself feeling stressed and anxious, wondering how I'm going to fit in all these social engagements and how I'm going to keep up with everyone's lives. And you know what? It's just not worth it. I'd rather have a handful of deep, meaningful relationships than 100 acquaintances. I've come to realize that I've been holding on to some friendships out of obligation, out of loyalty, or out of habit. But the truth is, some people are just not meant to be in your life. And that's okay. It's okay to let go of relationships that are no longer serving you. My own personal journey has been a wild ride. I used to be the ultimate social butterfly, attending every event, party, and gathering I could find. But as I got older, I started to feel like I was losing myself in the process. I was spreading myself too thin, trying to be everything to everyone. It wasn't until I took a step back and reassessed my friendships that I realized I was missing out on true connections. I was so focused on quantity that I neglected quality. And that's when it hit me. I don't need 1,000 friends to be happy. I need a few meaningful relationships that bring me joy, support, and a sense of belonging. One particular experience that stands out was when I went through a tough breakup. I was devastated, and I realized that I didn't have anyone to turn to, not because I didn't have friends, but because I didn't have deep, meaningful relationships. And that's when I knew I needed to make a change. I started to focus on nurturing my relationships with people who truly cared about me. I stopped attending events just for the sake of socializing and started investing in people who brought me joy. And you know what? It's been life-changing. I've found that having fewer, yet more meaningful relationships has brought me a sense of peace and contentment. I no longer feel like I'm drowning in a sea of acquaintances, trying to keep up with everyone's lives. I can finally be myself without fear of judgment or rejection. The pivotal moment for me was when I realized that quality trumps quantity every time. It's not about how many friends you have, but about how many people you can truly count on. And that's when I knew I needed to make a change. Looking back on my journey, I'm grateful for the experiences I've had, both good and bad. I've learned that it's okay to let go of relationships that no longer serve me and to focus on nurturing the ones that bring me joy. Today, I can confidently say that I'd rather have a handful of true friends than 100 acquaintances. I'd rather have deep, meaningful relationships than a large social circle. And you know what? It's been the best decision I've ever made. So, if you're feeling stuck in a sea of acquaintances, I encourage you to take a step back and reassess your friendships. Ask yourself, are these relationships truly serving me? Are they bringing me joy, support, and a sense of belonging? If not, it might be time to make a change. Thanks for watching, and if you've had a similar experience, please share it with me in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about building deeper connections, check out my video on